One of the biggest comics in Australia, this guy who they told me about in Australia, who sounds like a legend. This guy did a song parody of Meredith Brooks' song "Bitch," and he called it.
So I bring Vita out on stage on the road. That song for real.
Bloke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bloke. You know the song?
No.
Well, it's a song parody of "Bitch" by Meredith Brooks. It was so big. It was like they were doing it in stadiums in Australia.
I'm a bitch.
I'm a bloke.
lover.
I'm an auger, and I really like your knockers. And he does this whole thing. This guy's like such a legend. He killed someone on his wedding day.
No.
That's what a legend he is. He's a comic. He's in a bar. He gets into a fight. He ends up killing a guy and has to do 6 years. He kills a guy on his wedding day. He comes out of prison and he's doing comedy. He's a legendary comic. He's like really funny. And he does this song called Bloke, Chris Franklin, and it's like actually
Killed him by
pretty,
punching him?
Yeah, a few times.
I
maybe.
killed a guy and I liked it.
But this is play a little bit of this because this is actually a funny song parody.
I'll tell you something. He killed that tune.
Oh, yeah. How many views is that?
I don't know, but he's
selling out
He's a
now.
Well, this was back in the day, and they would show up to like he did it in like the AFL Stadium or something in Melbourne, like this massive like 80,000 people. It was crazy.
Wow. And the whole audience is singing it
And
along
they're all going, I'm a blow, you know? So it's like
Wow.
interesting. Australia's a really interesting place.
It is.
You're there and you're like, I love it. And then there's moments where you go, is everyone retarded? Like,
I know,
It's
I
just,
know.
you don't know. It's interesting.
I messaged you about it recently.
I told you you're going to like it. I have every restaurant you should go to.
All right.
If you're in a zoo,
It's fun.
I've got
will.
zoos.
You feel
I
very
am in a
detached,
zoo.
too. You're like, I'm on the other side of the world. No one can get to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And then are you doing New Zealand?
I'm not.
Okay, because it's
That's
fun
even more
to make
detached.
Because you go, then you 4 hours to Auckland, New Zealand. Then you're in New Zealand, and then 4 hours on a plane south of that is Antarctica.
Wow.
It's over. You're the furthest in the South Pacific you can go.
Yeah.
And then is Antarctica. So there's, I love it. Like I always go, like I've gone now twice, and I go, I'm never doing it again every time I do the flight.
Yeah.
And then I just always go back.
It's fun.
It's one of
dreading
those things where it's like I really like it when I'm there, and I love the comics. Like
Right.
Nick Cody's great, Luke
The
Hegge's
flight
great.
from LA sucks. Too. I mean, I'm going from New York. I'm fucking dreading that shit.
I mean,
It's a bitch.
that's by the way, that's inhuman. How are you? Are you laying over in LA or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or SF. one
Put
of
a
those.
day. Are you doing it all in one day?
No, just
Yeah.
get it over with. Just get it
Okay,
over
yeah,
with. That's what I
maybe.
did.
Maybe.
I'll pop a muscle relaxer on the second one. I'll knock out.
And you got
Yeah.
movies, you got food.
Well,
you
so
know.
what's interesting is I stayed up like a whole day. I go in. She's like, we can serve you the food whenever. I go, I'm just going to conk out. So I conked out. I wake up and I'm like, shit, I've been asleep 6 hours. I'm like, that's great. I woke up to her. I go, well, that's really good. I've never slept 6 hours on a plane. She goes, yeah. She goes, we're doing good. She goes, we only got like 9 hours left.
Oh, my
So then you're
God.
like, oh, this is, and then you look at where you're over and it's like the Mariana Trench.
Yes,
You're not over
yes.
anything. You're like, God, I hope the plane's working.
I know, you feel lost.
Those flights over the Pacific, you're like, I really hope everything's in working order.
That's when you need that guy from Mohegan to cry on you.
And we hit turbulence.
You're like, I need a dad right now.
And we hit turbulence in them, and you're like, it's turbulent, and you're in the, but they're just like, it's normal, it always happens. And you're in a Boeing 777, which is a beautiful plane.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best you can get, stunning.
I did I did Auckland, and it was the wildest crowd I've ever had.
They're great.
They're great. It was
Yeah, they're
awesome,
good.
but they threw drugs on stage.
Oh, interesting.
I do a Q&A at the end. They yelled shit out where I was like, I'm offended.
No,
You know, it's
they
crazy.
It's like it's the end of the world.
Yes.
You're at the end of the world. They call it. It's an island of volcanoes.
Right.
I mean, they're all just sitting there waiting for the big one. So it's kind of amazing.
And there's beautiful parts. Like the nature there is
Oh,
unreal.
dude,
They
it's
shot
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park. But then I stayed by the casino.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, because
it's
you know what
dicey.
it is? It's a certain type of person that you like.
There's a native in their blood.
Yeah, there's
you know.
they have some, and it's like they have a squawking voice. It's like, oh, and it's like it's something weird starts to happen with the booze and like their medulla oblongata, or like the back of their neck, and the way they're like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's like a different kind of bird. You're like, this is like a weird.
It's a weird group.
It's a weird group, but I'm into it. They're very different, even though they look. It's similar in a way, but it's off. There was a show called Sliders in the 90s.
I remember that
With
a
Jerry
little.
O'Connell.
Oh,
and
yeah,
people.
the time travel.
And Sliders was, and Louis kind of talks about Australia like this too, where you're there and you're like, it's almost our world.
Right.
And then Louis says, oh, like a weird parrot will fly by. So Sliders was just, they kept trying to get back to their world, and every time they'd slide into another
Right.
dimension. Some of them would obviously not be theirs. Like, it would be like
Jeez.
dinosaurs. But then some of them you'd be like, oh, this is our world. And then
Right.
it's like somebody's like head would like do a full 360. You go, oh, we're not. Oh,
Yeah. Wow, sliders.
Yeah.
Boy, you're always talking about food.
So,